Hey guys, welcome back to the Hat House. I'm Steven.
I'm Mary.
Today's video is going to be mainly like a montage of all the sales that we've had. I put some of the videos together and it's just going to be just sales back to back to back. Some of you guys said that you wanted just to see the sales, so I'm going to put that video out. If you like this, or some of y'all enjoy just listening to just the sales, I'll keep going back a little bit further and keep putting these together for you guys. Hope you like it. Make sure if you're not subscribed to the Hat House, double check right now. I don't ask all the time, but hit that button and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, next up, I told you the camo was doing well. This one was pretty cool. It had like these little oil rigs all over it. Went for $15 on its own, and then I sold the last four vintage camo blanks. Sold them. This one went out for like $50 for these four, so they got a really good deal. I got these at an estate sale. I sold them off pretty quick. Probably could have got a little bit more on them, but I like to get in and out of stuff, and they made me a good deal. I made them a good bundle deal for all four of them on eBay. Sent me the offer, and I took it. All right, next up, combined orders. We're going to go over the combined orders real quick. We had a New Era, just kind of a basic logo hat on the New Era. Strap back, $21 for this and the Callaway hat. The Callaway hat was pretty cool. It was on the New Era tag. Nice little Callaway, older Callaway joint right here. So $21 for these two. Great deal. And another $20 for a GSU Eagles. I think they're in Alabama. Does it say, Mary, where the GSU Eagles are from? Georgia. Georgia Southern. Duh. Maybe that's why the G is on there. So Georgia Southern and Atlanta. These went out for $20 as well. Pretty good deal. Combined order. Next up, another good combined order. We had a PGA Tour hat. We had a Boston Red Sox. This was on the American Needle. We had a OU hat right here. And then another golf hat right here. US Open Chamber Bay. $40, $41 for four hats. Love the combined orders. They save money, and I save money, and we all win. Another combined order, $23 on, this was like a Robin Ruth that had a cool little American flag on it. And then I had another American flag hat. This was just kind of, it was a Pugs. It was kind of the camo American flag. So good deal on that too, $20. All right, $24 on these two. 76 gas station. And then an Eddie Bauer dad hat. Eddie Bauer stuff does pretty good, actually. Older stuff does really great. This is just a regular dad hat. Nice little gas station hat right here. Vintage, $22 for two hats. And $24 on this one. Patagonia was really good. Really great condition. That's what it's all about on these basic Patagonia hats. And then a basic Nike Featherlight visor. $24 for those two. Next up, $27. They got a Dodgers and a Yankees. Can you be for both? I don't know. Maybe it's like one of those house divided things. But Dodgers and Yankees World Series. If you got the Dodgers and Yankees stuff sitting around, it is time to get it listed. Don't let it sit around any longer. It'll sell. $27 for two dad hats. All right, next up. Not all music rap hats are created equally. Some of them go for big money. This one was just $12 for Biggie Smalls. It was just kind of a basic hat with this patch on it. So only $12 on that one. They'll still sell, just not that good of money if they're not on a really good hat. Next up, this one went for $19, $19.95. Kansas State on the starter. It was a really cool little older hat. Nice starter strap back. $19. Happy with that. Kansas State's doing pretty good too. Next up, this one sold super fast. I think I might have unpriced it just tad, but they got a good deal. The black on black always does really well. Yankees is hot, of course. A 940 in great condition. If it was snapback, probably get closer to the 25 to range, but this one was the strap back. Really nice Yankees hat right here. Went out for $17. Next up, nice little, the Colorado hats usually do okay. This one went for like $15. Nice little legacy Aspen with the patch on the front. The ski stuff is getting ready to take off a little bit better too. So really like picking up the Colorado ski resort stuff. All right, next up is why you watch the videos. I didn't know about this brand until I looked it up yesterday. This one went for $25. It may just look like a basic hat, but this was K-Juice. Keiju's, decent brand right here. Brand new, they go for like $39, $45, but wasn't very many of them on eBay. So I asked like 30 and took 25. Really cool hat. Next up, really cool Masters hat. Went for $29. A little bit different than the other Masters. This one had 1934 American Needle. Wasn't vintage, but really different Masters. So around 30 bucks for that. Pretty good deal. The basic Masters ones are really sticking in the $15 range, but this one was different, so I priced it up. Another theme right here, if you're watching, pay attention. Park City, Utah ski with the patch, snapback, $19. Not amazing, but they are selling. Next up was this American Needle. Really cool kind of 5-panel winter Sherpa line. Went for $17. It was missing the size on it. I probably would have asked a little bit more for it. Nice lined hat. These winter hats, I usually try to stick between 20 and 30 if they're decent brands and they're really well made. This is American Needle, so really nice hat. Next up, South Carolina Gamecocks. I don't know. I didn't wear my OU hat today. Not that I'm ashamed, but maybe a little shame. But we can't score. We fired our offensive coordinator. We got beat by South Carolina. It's the first time in history we'd ever played them. OU is the winningest football program in history, and now we have the worst offense of any team in college. I don't know exactly how that all happens, but it did, and I sold a Gamecocks hat, so I'm kind of happy. Next up, this Cal Bears flat cap only went for $10. This stuff is really hit and miss. I had this one for probably 2 years maybe, so I finally sold it. I think it's because it was a little bit smaller size, but I had this one forever. Sometimes these really hit, but this one did not. $10, 2 years. I didn't make much on that. Next up, sometimes you just have somebody's size. This one went for $25. Really good, bigger size, 7 3/4. NFL fitted. Not always easy to find either. So nice little Kansas City Chiefs, $25, new era fitted. Next up was this Jordan hat. It only went for $16, but it had this little spot on the top of it. It wasn't in the best condition, but $16 Jordan hat. Still kind of happy with that. Next up, this one was awesome. I sold a painter hat on Whatnot too last night. I think it went for like $15, but this one went for $30. It was a snapback. Those are a little harder to find. A lot of times you get the stretch back ones. Seattle Mariners in great condition. Painter hat, $30. Next up, this is a really cool REI. I let it go for $15, but it was a corduroy. REI, up and down on the price on REI stuff. If you get something really cool like this, it can be pretty good. Let this one go. Had it for a while, probably all summer. $15 corduroy, kind of a trapper with the ear flaps. Next up, this Magellan fedora style outdoor, kind of almost Indiana Jones type of hat. And we've sold some pretty cool hats like this over the past couple of weeks. Really think about Halloween. Halloween is not far off. So somebody might be using this for their Indiana Jones or some sort of costume like that. We sold a cool naval hat the other day. That's probably going to be a Halloween costume as well. So just think about these hats. A lot of hats sell for costumes during this time as well, especially if you have kind of the fashion hats or cool ones that look like Indiana Jones. But this is Magellan, so not the greatest brand, but $25. All right, next up, Yale Bulldogs, $9.99. I still listed it because I know Yale sells, but you can see it's discolored. So even if you have this is just a basic dad hat. If you know that it's a really good style or brand, it might still be worth it. So this one sold pretty quick, even though it was a little discolored. Next up was a nice little Citgo hat. Went for $19. Regular snapback, a little bit older on the kudzu tag, youngin snap. Nice embroidery, $19. Really cool little Citgo hat right here. Next up, nice new old stock DeWalt with kind of the shark. Some people call it shark. It's not really a shark tooth. It's not a shark tooth. I call it, what did I put in? A zigzag?
You just put zagged edge.
Yeah, some people call it jagged edge. Some people call it zigzag. So I put zag and edge, hoping to catch that. But $25 on the DeWalt Racing old stock snapback. Next up, I find these all the time with either just the inner fleece part or just the shell of the hat, and they hardly ever sell. But I had both of them this time, so it went for $22 on this vintage Columbia ski hat. I always put ski, always put winter. Usually put snow in the titles of these nice kind of ski hats. And happy to get 22 for this one. I hardly ever find all the pieces, so they got a cool hat. And another cool winter hat right here. Nice little Columbia. Went for $25 with the trapper ear flaps. These hats are really cool because you can just put these in your pocket, but they are really warm. And this was it was vintage and it was a little bit bigger size, but nice little winter hat right here. Next one, had this one a while. This one only went for $13. Wasn't the greatest condition, but was really cool, kind of digital camo. Dakota Dan. Just want to show you this one too, because the winter stuff is starting to pick up finally, even though it's 75 and sunny in Oklahoma here today. Next up, really cool Los Angeles Rams. And the crazy thing about running sales, take them off sale. Sometimes you just got to wait for the buyer. I think I had this one marked down to $15 at one time. But I knew that was cooler than that because this is a really cool Rams kind of camo blue. Went for $25. It got marked back up and took $25 for this one. Awesome condition. Beautiful Rams hat. And another nice Colorado Rockies. This one was a little bit older version, 7 and 8. $25 on this one. Really good selling price for, and it's still pretty crispy though. Really nice. I've been putting a lot of work into some of the new era hats. Getting them back into shape better with my shaper, and then getting a little starch on them, making them, just bringing them back to life as best I can, and it helps in the sales price too. I don't know that I'll do that for every single one, but there are some hats I put a little bit more time into. Next up, Hui hat. This one was really cool, red, white, and blue. Went for $15. Pretty good condition. Nice little red. This one is actually Texas, I think. You got to look at these sometimes. This Texas flag will be in here. And if you put the keyword Texas in there, they usually sell a little bit faster. Next up comes just a basic brand, $12, but just making the point, the winter style hats are selling. This is a nice thick wool. The brand was Peak Olive. I don't really know the brand, but really nice little green. Green is a hot color, and it's a winter nice wool hat, so $12. And Maryland won this week. At least we can share in the misery. USC got beat by Maryland for Lincoln Riley. Glad to sell a Maryland Terrapin hat, and go Terps. All right, first off, summer is starting, but we're still selling Carhartt Trapper hats. $20 on this one. We actually started a bucket yesterday of just winter hats that we're probably going to hold off listing many of these summer or winter types of hats during the summer. We'll probably store them up and come back to them in September and get fresh listings with the winter type stuff, because I don't really want to list a bunch of really awesome winter hats right now. They will sell, but the selling price is just a little bit lower, and you get a lot of low offers. People looking to buy things cheap in the summer and do the same thing we want to do, is flip them in the winter. Next up, this one sold super fast, even being size 7. I may have underpriced it. It came in at $28, took the $20 offer. Old vintage White Sox logo on the old vintage New Era hat. Maybe it was worth more. I know it was a small size. It had the leather sweatband, and I got some other ones of these in. But maybe I should have asked a little bit more. Maybe I undervalued it just because it was size 7. But it was a really cool vintage New Era hat right here. I probably should have been a little higher. Next up, I got to give another shout out on this hat because I put it on Instagram first. I could not find this logo anywhere, what team this might be. And it ended up being the Minot Mallards. And Mr. Thrifts on Instagram /whatnot, he came through, answered in about 5 minutes. I listed it about 10 minutes later, and it sold for $59 about an hour after that. It was fitted. It was 7 3/4 on this Roxy tag right here. Still went out for $59. Thank you so much, Mr. Thrifts, for letting me know who it was. I kept looking for ducks, AAA, and it was a mallard, not a duck. Or is a mallard a duck? Is there a difference? And the cool Jordan hat sold super fast too. $20 on this Nike Air Jordan. Had the cool kind of rubberized patch on it. Pretty clean. Pretty nice little Jordan hat right here. Sold super fast, 20 bucks. Pretty good weekend for vintage fitted hats. This Cleveland Indians with the old C on it, they kind of went back to this C, but this was kind of on the nylon, 7 1/8. I took a $30 offer on this one, vintage new era, old C logo. Flipped this one really quick too, sold in about 24 hours. Beautiful vintage new era hat right here. Next up was an awesome vintage New York Mets hat. Went out for $29. It was just on the, just the MLB tag. And we cover the world. This is Universal. So Universal brand, cool 90s New York Mets, 29 bucks. Next up, stop walking by these at the thrift because this one went out for $29. Vintage Ireland Irish tweed designs. You see these old vintage flat caps all the time, and they have value, guys. You got to look them up. There's a lot of cheap flat caps out there. I'll give you that. They have no brand, but usually when they have this really big tag on the inside, it's worth your time to look it up. If it looks older, looks vintage, there's a lot of newer flat caps too. I'm telling you guys, the flat caps are starting to move quickly. I'll show some other sales that we've had of flat caps over the past week right now, because I really want you guys to take a look at them and stop just passing them by. It's a really great item. They're really easy to ship and they're really hot right now. The sales seem to be really strong on the flat caps. This one I'll show you. I usually don't show under 20, but this was a vintage Henschel. Went out for $15 on this one. Just kind of showing you that they are selling really well. Not every price is $30, but they're selling quick, 15 to 20. A lot of brands, and then the older ones and the tweed and the wool ones are the ones that are a little more like 30 bucks. Next up, Smith & Wesson, still had the cardboard in it, went out for $25, pretty much brand new, nice patch, gray and blue. Smith & Wesson was on the Smith & Wesson tag. Really cool, gun hat right here, 25 bucks. And regular new era, 7.5, great size right here, $18. Gonna see this over and over again. They're still selling really hot. Next up, this one had two things going for it. So it was Fly House. This is kind of like a private charter jet, which I knew whoever needed a Fly House private charter jet hat would probably pay up a little bit for one. But it was also G4, which is an awesome golf brand. So those two things together made this around a $45 hat. Really cool G4 hat. G4 makes a really solid hat too. And being aviation, I knew it would do well. Next up, another awesome gun sale. Loophole scopes, $29. Still had the cardboard in it and was branded Loophole. So brand new, awesome hat right here. And next up, a really good winter hat brand. Again, Stormy Cromer. They made this like baseball hat right here. I think this says Jane's Island Classic. 33rd annual boat, kind of a boat something. But anyways, really great hat brand, $18 on this one, and a winter hat selling again in the summer. I was glad to get 18. It's a great brand, but kind of an obscure kind of embroidery on it. And next up, the Dodgers are still getting a little better sales price and sell-through speed than some of the other ones. 7 1/4 new era Dodgers, $25. Next up, not many vintage truckers. Probably because I haven't been listing as many. I just haven't had as many lately. But this one went for $25, Alaska Airlines. The mesh in it was really great condition. Pretty clean hat right here. Youngin, branded and snaps. Nice little Alaska Airlines hat. Next up, this one is brought to you by Google Lens, because I would have never found this logo, but Google Lens led me to American-made Corvette Museum. $16 on this one, but just pays to kind of find out what the logo is sometimes. And usually Google Lens and a little Google search, I'll give it 5 or 10 minutes. And it just kind of depends on the hat, how long I'll spend searching. Next up, I just bring this up because 18 seems to be like the magic numbers on a lot of the new era fitteds right now. So if you add my $6 shipping and then taxes, the buyer is wanting to be around $25 for a used hat. Is really where that market is right now, used new era. So you're going to pay, what, 40 to 50 for a brand new one. They're wanting to be about half out the door, unless you have something really cool or a lot better. This is just kind of regular Phillies hat. Next up, this Patagonia went for $20. It was really clean, super cool colorway on this Patagonia hat right here. Really nice. Always happy to get $20 and find really nice Patagonias. Just so many times when you're dealing with used Patagonias, people don't treat them the nicest, but this one was pretty cool. Next up, this vintage Montreal Expos went for $21. International, I'm assuming Canada. It was a really nice vintage hat right here. They got a great deal. I don't know how I got it down to 20. Maybe they made me an offer and I was feeling generous. Next up, the polo hat right here, the Olympic Team 2012 strap back polo tag. Had the 2012 Olympic Team London on it. $40 on this one. Had it priced a little higher. Took the offer. It wasn't in perfect condition, but still really cool polo hat. And next, wouldn't be a proper video either. A polo, then a Chief Wahoo, but this one was kids. It still went for $18. It was a vintage competitor view logo 7 Chief Wahoo Indians hat for 18 bucks. Next up, these are going out to a viewer, so really appreciate you checking out the store and finding these two awesome hats. I got them in, listed them, and then super quick, they sold. I had them priced around $45 a piece. They both had like these back-to-back Bulldog or Georgia Bulldog champions, two-time national champions. These were super cool. 47 brand hats, super crispy, awesome condition. So I was asking $44. I figured I'd get $35 to $45 for them. Made me an offer. I think we settled around $30 a piece for them. So two hats combined shipping to a viewer, giving them a good deal on some really cool Georgia Bulldogs hats. Thank you so much. And also for being a viewer and reaching out and buying some really cool hats. Always got to hook you up with a pin when I come across the one that matches really well. And of course, I had a Georgia Bulldogs pin. So thank you so much. Great hats, and glad to hook you up with a pin too. And after we looked at the name, realized same buyer that bought a lot from our Whatnot, still have to ship them out separately. And then made the connection, but really appreciate you. I won't say your name because I don't know if you want me to put it out there, but thank you for all your purchases on Whatnot and on eBay. It means a lot. You got some really killer hats between Whatnot and eBay. Next up, really nice Buffalo Bills hat right here. This was super clean and crispy. Went out for $44. It had this like a 60-year side patch on it. Really nice black. Still had the tags on it. Size 7 3/8, pretty much brand new. Awesome Bills hat for $45. And next up, this Eagles hat goes with another BYU hat, but this one's important because I tried to sell it to y'all for $3. And I was like, hey, look at this cool Eagles retro logo hat. It'll probably go for 15 to 20 on eBay. I sold it for 18 since y'all didn't buy it on my last Whatnot. We listed it, and I got 18 because it had the really cool retro logo. And another Expos hat going out, $25 on this nice New Era Expos. Fitted, 7 3/8. Really pretty good condition still. Expos are heating up for some reason. Do you guys know why? I mean, I know they usually do pretty well, but I don't know. Something different happened to sell 2 in one weekend. Next up, took an offer on this one for $25. I think Mary was a little disappointed in my taking of this offer. She thought we could have got more for it, and she's probably right. Really cool, kind of A-frame, 940, New York Yankees, camouflage, had a lot going for it, 25 bucks. Next up, the Puma P, still going hot. This one was brand new, $29. So I got pretty close to what the retail price was. It was $35 on the tag, $29. This one had a pretty colorful P though. Really cool Puma hat. Next up, really cool Hui hat. And these are really all about condition and how cool they are. $25 on this one. It was pretty crispy like new. So I got $25 and it was just really cool. Kind of script on the front, Western original. And I messaged and they added another hat for, it was only $8, but took your transaction from a $25 transaction to a $34 transaction just because I told them I had a lot more hats and to find one that they liked and I'd combine it. Next up, probably the coolest Guess hat that I have seen in a while. And it's a newer one. It's kind of the black on black logo. That does really good. $28 on a Guess hat because this one was Super cool. The A-frame, which is doing really good. The A-frame type trucker, but also the black on black logo. And that's why I priced it up a little bit. I knew somebody would love this hat, and they did. Next up, kind of disappointing. This Cadillac went for $17. Had a busted button on the top, but still was in pretty good condition. The Cadillac and corduroy, but Cadillac corduroy, $17. Somebody still got a pretty cool little hat. And another polo hat, $35 on this one. Kind of the beige, off-white, cream color camo hat, $35 on the newer tag. Kind of the cotton, really nice snapback hat. Next up, hang loose Hawaii. I even left off the good keyword for these, which is shaka, this hand symbol that's hang loose Hawaii. $25 on this one. Hawaii hats are going well. They will continue through the summer. This one was really cool. This was Aloha headwear, $25. Next up, Under Armour hat for $25, and this is the one you got to look out for. This one was in really great condition, but Project Rock usually has the bull on here. Usually says blood, sweat, respect on the inside. These Under Armour hats usually do a lot better. $25 sales price on this one. Snapback, really great condition. Next up, Miami Dolphins, really cool. What brand was this? It looks like it is Drew Pearson. Had this really cool Miami Dolphins kind of all over the top here. Somebody else had theirs priced in around $200 for this hat. And sometimes people just are way over the market. What did mine sell for, Mary?
$45.
$45 I ended up taking for this because it was on the market forever. Like 6 months, 8 months, maybe. I started it around $100, then got down to around $40 to $50 and finally sold. All right, so a pretty good day here in the hat house. We got some pretty good hats going out. We're going to show you those right now. First up, San Francisco Giants, $25. Snapback, super crispy, still in great shape, almost like new. $25 is a good sales price for the basic regular colored hat. Next up, here's a Hurley that you get a little bit more for. $20 on this Hurley. Nice 5-panel lightweight. Had the really flexible bill. These regular Hurley hats, sometimes like $10, $15 maybe. But this one went out for a little more. And the black on black logos we talk about. $25 on this, even in the off season. It was a really good New York Jets hat though. It was a great size as well. 7.5, all those things. Make it over a $20 New Era hat. Next up, I held out for a pretty good price on this one too. Had the Cowgirls on the side. This one was super crispy too. I knew it would go for good money. $35. The A-frame 940s doing awesome too. Snapback, Dallas Cowboys, $35 on this one. Just took about a month to get it, and I knew I would. And another good combined order right here. Got a Nike hat. We got a Texaco hat. Hoffman Family Farms hat. Nice, and a couple nice truckers, Briggs and Stratton. All went out for about $55. Love the combined orders. Saving us both some money. Next up, really cool Oklahoma Sooners hat right here. $26. Had the Boomer Schooner on it. And it was just kind of a different logo. And that's why I kept it priced up to $26. Really cool hat. Plus it was new with tags basically. So really good price on that. And the MLB logo just on a regular dad hat strikes again. $27. I think this one's going international. So maybe I got a little lucky in that much. The prices have come down on these MLB logos a little bit. Maybe because I keep talking about them. But either way, $27 is great on this one. International to France, I think. And next up, another combined order of golf hats. $42 for these two. This Cabot hat was really cool right here. It was Cape Breton. And this, I think I found the course. What did I call this course?
Which one? It was Navasink Country Club.
Navasink Country Club. So if you can find the logos, you will get more. I wouldn't say spend all day long trying to find the logos. Just labeling it as a golf hat works too. You just got to kind of figure out how much time do you want to spend looking for this logo. Is it worth the extra $5 or $10 that I've spent now? And then sometimes you just got to move on and call it a golf hat. But if you can find the course, you can usually get a little bit more. Next up is when you just price it high and see where it goes. There was not another Nike hat like this. I found some Soul stuff, and it was all priced up pretty good. This one, I priced it around $100. Took the first good offer that came in a few days for $60. It had Nike sole on this side, had Nike SB, just do it. Just really cool. Had a tiger on this side and a swoosh. Maybe the coolest dad hat you will find out there for Nike, and $60 sales price. And maybe I undersold it a little. Maybe I could have waited for longer, but you know, you get a hat for $2 and somebody offers you $60. It's hard not to take it. And another New Era hat for $25. This one was size 7 3/8. Really good shape. Nice New Era. Still good condition. 25 bucks. And next up, this Red Bull Racing. I sold a Ferrari one on the Whatnot the other night. If y'all were there for that, that was a banger. This one went out for $25 on eBay, the Red Bull Racing. Really nice Puma hat. Really cool kind of snapbacks on here. $25. All right, first up, really nice North Face hat right here. 5-panel, strap back, lightweight. Mine went for $23. People had them priced for like 15 bucks out there. Really cool North Face is 20 plus and really good condition. I usually just hold out and get the better money for the North Face stuff, especially when you have a really cool lightweight running 5-panel hat like this. Next up, really cool San Diego Padres hat right here. $25 on this one. The alternate Padre logo right here. Size 7.5, so great size. Cooperstown wool, really nice New Era hat. They got a good one here. Next up, I won't take it out of the plastic, but this was a 2023 Yukon Huskies National Champs. Went out for $23 on this one. Really cool. And this is, like I said, top of the world. Or Fanatics, if you have them new, they still get over $20. Next up, flat caps. Still selling really well. Had a New Era kind of wool flat cap right here. Went out for
$26.
$26 on this one. Really cool. New Era wool flat cap, really cool hat. And then I had another one I had priced for $6, both the same kind of color. Always nice to get a combined order on this. Combined order flat caps. Flat caps are still doing awesome. Next up, really nice minor league Spokane Indians. You know I love this. How much did it go for, Mary?
$35.
$35. It was pretty crispy. It was kind of, I call this batting. They call them batting practice hats a lot of times that are on this mesh like this. So that helps buyers find the kind of fabric that they're looking for. But really, really great sale. $35, super crispy, almost basically new. And next up, another great combined order. $35 for 3 pretty cool dad hats. They got some cool ones here. SMU Mustangs. This one's snapback. Where they got a Boston Red Sox and Boston Bruins. Three good hats. $35. Dad hats, can't complain. Next up, I sold this one in like less than 24 hours. Maybe I priced it too low, but it was a great size, 7 5/8. King Griffey Jr. I also put like the description like pixel. This is kind of like a pixel. They make some really cool pixel hats out there. If you've ever seen them, they're kind of stitched pixel, but that one kind of looks like that. But anyways, this is Baseballism, King Griffey Jr. brand. 7 5/8, and also the other keyword for this is swingman. When he's swinging like this, really cool King Griffey Jr. hat, $25. Next up, just kind of shows the older trucker market is just not there right now. $20 on this. Usually like these strip clubs, this is showgirls hats. You used to get like $40, $50 for really cool ones. I thought at least $30. I only got $20 for this Deja Vu Showgirls Presents. This kind of stuff is cyclical though. Kind of like the big rope hats are in right now. These might come back if somebody cool starts wearing them again. But kind of disappointed in this sale. I thought it'd be really good, but 20 bucks. Next up, sold in like 24 hours. Really cool colorway. I tell you, the cool colorways on the polos are the best. $28 on this one. Sold super quick. Polo dad hats. It couldn't be a proper hat house show without polo. Next up, picked up this bad boy on Whatnot. What did I call this, honey? It's a Brooks Brother...
boater hat.
Boater hat. This is a boater hat. That was the key word that sold it. But Brooks Brothers made a really quality hat right here. Picked this up on Whatnot, I think, for like $10. You can see how the quality is on this. $50 for this one on the boater hat. Really cool hat right here. Great sale. Next up, Houston Astros, $20 fitted had the side hit. This one sold in like 24 hours as well. Awesome size, 7.5. The fitted hats are still doing really well. MLB is still going pretty strong. And next up, Helly Hansen went out for $20. Is still in kind of pretty rough shape. It doesn't always deter the buyer. This is kind of cool right here sometimes. Everybody knows the distressing on hats. That's kind of gone in and out of style as well. It's kind of out right now, but sometimes it doesn't turn buyers off necessarily. Next up, Baylor Track and Field. Sold this for $15. Sold some cooler ones on my Whatnot the other night that I'm sure will bring closer to the $20 to $30 mark and maybe more. They were pretty cool. So check out our Whatnot Saturday nights at 8 o'clock. You can pick up some really cool hats. This one for $15, a regular Baylor Track and Field dad hat, is a win. And next up, this is Babe Ruth. This is also Baseballism. So I listed a Baseballism hat, and then I end up selling 2 Baseballisms in one day. This one was really cool though. Babe Ruth, how much did this one go for?
$25.
$25 on this one as well. Really cool hat right here. I don't find it as a coincidence that they both sell on the same day after you list one. And this one sold instantly for pretty good money. How much would you have priced it for? Well, I went in at $150, sold immediately to a repeat buyer, $150. It is a beautiful Oregon Ducks snapback. It was on this Catboy vintage 90s tag right here. Awesome, beautiful colorway, the brown and green. Keep a lookout for this colorway, and especially a lot of the newer New Era hats have this kind of colorway a lot, but to find it in a vintage version, super crispy, really awesome hat right here. $150. Might be my best sale of the year so far, but a really awesome hat. And keep a lookout. Really, the colorway, I mean, I doubt you'll run into an Oregon one again because they're pretty rare, but keep a lookout for this colorway and in vintage. Awesome price. And this GT World Challenge, it went for $20 as well. Pretty fast. I just listed it. I probably underpriced this one too. Look at the awesome 90s colorway, colors. I think I just got this one from Whatnot, and then I flipped it pretty quick. I don't even know that I paid much more than $20, honestly, but really cool hat. Next up, just cool designs sell for $20 sometimes. This was nothing special. I think I put like, I think it was a hi, how are you? I found it by Google search, and just Trippy Frog is what I put in the title as well. Sometimes those things help get you the $20 sales price. Somebody out there actually types Trippy Frog into the search bar. And another great vintage hat right here. Harvard snapback on this old, and this is one that I had the snaps replaced on it. I just knew that it would be like a $40 or $50 hat. It went for $45. Replace the snaps, I'll get them sewn in. So really good hat right here. Appreciate Bread Boy's Vintage. He changed out the snaps for me. Don't always have time to do all the snap work, so he does a great job. Really appreciate him. And a $28 polo hat with the green and the orange pony on this one. On the newer tags, just have the cool colors. Army green, definitely in right now. Next up, the Jordan cap. Crazy ones right here, new or used. Everybody wants to pay just $20, whether you have a new one or a used one. This one went for $22. Everybody wants to be around that price on the flex fitted Jordan hat. If they're still in good condition, they bring about the same price with used or new. And cool ping hats are sticking around the $20 sales price as well. Go back and look through your store, and I'm like, how many ping hats do I have? Well, I have 0 because they just keep selling so quickly. Every time I list them, they are sold. Ping is doing really well, especially the newer ones. Well, you got the ping ones with the floral print. Of course, there's awesome vintage bangers, but these newer ping hats are selling really fast too. And next up, don't give up on or sell the vintage Nike too cheap. $24 on this one. Even had a slight little blemish here on the bill, but definitely on the vintage Nike tag. The regular old dad hat, $25 on this one. Several offers. It sold pretty quick, but I got a lot of offers, a couple for $10, and I was just like, no, I think somebody will pay $20 to $30 for a nice vintage Nike hat, and so I waited, and they did. Next up is Orvis hat. Not all Orvis are created equal. A lot of Orvis hats are $10 hats. anytime you got a fly fishing or a fishing themed Orvis hat, you usually get a lot closer to the $20 mark. Just remember that when you're picking them up or listing them. Fishing themed Orvis does better than the regular Orvis. This was even just a regular strapman. And it wouldn't be a hat house day either without a polo and a flat cap selling. This flat cap went for $19, just a regular Levi's flat cap, large, extra large. Flat cap's still doing well. And the vintage New Era snapback Seattle Mariners went out for like $23. Probably would have done a little bit better, but had this writing on the inside, a little bit of creasing on the front, but still really nice vintage New Era. In mint condition, these are $40 to $50 hats all day long. Might have a few issues on it, but still really cool. Next up, we sold the Seattle Mariners in about a day. The one with the silver brim always seems to do really good. Maybe I underpriced it a little bit, but it's a newer one. It went for $28, so I don't think so. It's just a really hot, fast seller with the silver brim and the compass and the star, I call it. And next up, this Phillies hat also sold in like 6 hours. It was 7 1/8, had a cool like camo logo right here. Kind of the salute to service, a little bit older, but 7 1/8. Happy with $28 on this one too. Then a really great combined order, $100 for these hats right here. We had Adidas, we had a Melon hat, and a PXG hat. The Melon and the PXG, I'm sure sold it. These sold in about a week. I had the Melon hat listed sometime last week, and then the PXG I just listed a couple of days ago. But $100 for these, great sale. Some awesome hats in there. PXG and Melon, you can't go wrong with those. Next up, I know I give the rope hats a hard time lately, but they are still selling for really good money. Kapalua, Maui, Hawaii. It was on the young end, definitely vintage, really nice rope hat, a really cool kind of green teal color. And the camo kind of winter hat's still selling. I think I've had some like on every video, it seems like. So I guess get them listed. This one was the Gore-Tex. So it was really nice. $30. I took an offer on this one. It was Cabela's, extra large, insulated, really good hat. They got a pretty good price on it too. Definitely could have been a $50 hat if it had been like the peak of hunting season. And sold the Zumbas hat for $22. This was Penn State, was on the Zumbas tag. Really cool vintage hat right here. I've sold it once and then they didn't pay. Sold it again when I relisted it in about 3 or 4 days. And next up, sometimes you just know when you have a really cool hat. Southern String Hat Company, $34 on this one. The multicam does sell pretty well. Nice little embroidered hat right here. Never really heard of Southern String Hat Company, but I have now. 35 bucks. Next up, 35 on this one. Charros de Jalisco. It's a Spanish baseball league. Really cool hat right here. Had the nice cool Charros hit on the back. Super crispy. Basically like new. 7 1/8. Really beautiful New Era hat right here. And $35. And vintage Calvin Klein. You may not know this one, but it's a solid $20 hat usually. Got $20 for this one. Here's the old Calvin Klein tag. Really cool. Made in USA. Snaps on the back. These can do okay. You never find really crazy ones. I haven't. They're just always regular black or brown. So they stay around 20 bucks. And then 2 more New Era fitteds. Both these went for $18. We had a camo Raiders and we also had the Woo socks. $18. The fitteds are doing awesome right now. I know a lot of you guys don't really get into the fitted game as much. You really look for vintage snapbacks, but this is where I've kind of moved a lot of my inventory to because I'm finding good deals out there. Next up, this beautiful Super Bowl, Rose Bowl hat. I've said Rose Bowl because it has roses all over it, but I always look up, and on these Super Bowl hats, I always look up and see what team won, and that's the team I usually put in the title. Since a Cowboys fan is probably going to be the one looking for this Super Bowl hat. Some people do collect just the Super Bowl hats, but I always put the team that won in the title. This one went out for $22. they got a pretty good deal on this new era. It's basically dead stock. Beautiful Super Bowl hat. Next up, one of my favorite kind of hats to find, and there might be an argument over how to pronounce it. Is it melon, M-E-L-I-N, or is it Milan, M-E-L-I-N, Milan or melon? What is it, guys? I don't know, but still love these hats. This is just a basic A-frame, $35 on this one. So can't complain about that. Always love to find them, high quality. Always can tell from this little M logo down here on the underside of the bill. Next up, another one of my favorite styles to find and colors. Brown is still doing awesome. Khaki, beige, whatever you want to call it. And this 47 brand with the rope and the bars. This style is still going really hot. $35 on this one. Really cool Bills hat right here. 47 brand. Just don't think all 47 brand is cheap, because some of them still get in the $25, $30, $35 range. And just for good measure, an LA hat. I'm sure this one sold for like 15 bucks if I was guessing, but it's brown and it's sold almost immediately. Hot color right now. And I'm not trying to rub it in, but this is 3 in a row, 3 brown hats in a row. A Timberland for $14 because it was brown and in beautiful condition. I'm seeing a trend here. Next up, if you watch me long, you know this one too. $25, Stormy Chromer, beautiful. If they have good designs on them, you can get closer to $30 to $40, push the price to $50 maybe. But this one's just a basic color, 7 1/8, basic one, $25 on this. Really well-made Stormy Chromer hats. And it finally sold. I thought it might go for a little bit more. Maybe I thought it was cool, but it took a while. Did I shave my balls for this? Just on this, I think somebody just made these patches and put this on this hat, but kind of funny. Only $17, but it took a while to sell too. Maybe that's not a trend anymore. Next up, vintage Alabama Crimson Tide got rolled by the Sooners, but still sold for $31. It was nice wool on the signatures, nice wool snapback, vintage green underbrim, nice little logo right there. Next up, $26 on this Yankees hat. This good side patches with, this one was pretty good condition. $26, 7.5, great size. All that, I keep them priced up to $25 to $30 with a great side patch and in decent condition. If they're like new condition, or they are new, then I try to get $40 to $50. And I don't know all the most, some people go really in depth on these side patches on which ones are the best. And I don't go too in depth on them, but you can find some that are really good. This one said, this one just had World Series 1950. And somebody got an awesome deal on this one. I guess I just took it because hunting season is kind of winding down and it hadn't sold yet. $20. It was a Cabela's Gore-Tex. This is probably like a $50, $60 hat right here. But they got a great deal. I took an offer. You never know, guys. Shoot an offer. You never know. The seller might take it. Beautiful hat. Is that it? No? I have to open up the boxes. Oh no. I'm really gonna have to open up. Where do we put the knife? Let me go ahead and order boxes on.
I didn't see any others that were.
This one? McGregor. All right, next one I want to talk about. How much? This was like just like $14 or $15, I think. But something I just picked up at the bins. And if it didn't say Bacon Bros, I probably would have picked it up. But it's just little cool things like Bacon Bros. Somebody definitely wants that hat. Just got to get it in front of them. $15 on that. Kind of happy with that. All right, last one going out today. These are hit and miss. $18 on this one, but sometimes I get the $30 to $40 range. Sometimes I just sit around for a while and I end up taking 18. But large, extra large on the K brand. Definitely the time of year for them. Nice little patch trucker with the trapper flaps on it. Nice little sell. And we'll see you guys next time. Make sure you enter to win that hat shaper. And catch us on the next episode here at the Hat House. So let's check them out. All right, first up, it would not be a proper Hat House show without something polo. Polo visors, love them. Always over $20, especially these vintage ones. They always sell super fast too. $20, $21 on this polo visor. Great sale. Next up was this really nice vintage Izod hat. I took some time into this one. I put a little extra effort. I shaped it up. Got a good shape on it. And then also, I think I oxyed this one as well. So it's super clean white. Went out for $22 on this. And I'm pretty sure the shaping helped me get an extra few dollars to get it over a $20 sales price. And I'll show you this one. It's under 20, but still went out for $18. And Live Lucky Black Clover hat right here. The red, white, and blue, $18. Even with this course on the side, the better the course, the better the price usually. And these just are a consistent seller for the $20 price range. And another one, I spent some time steaming this Cadillac hat up. I think it went for $24. It probably would have went more, but it had a little pinhole here. You can see my thumb through it on the top. I found it when I was shaping it, and I was like, oh man, that would have been like a $40 or $50 hat probably, because it's in beautiful condition. Got it cleaned up and shaped up. But had the hole, so I took 24, and usually any kind of defect like this, I take any decent offer on them. You don't know when you'll get it again. Next up, you can still get over $20 for a dad hat. This nice Texas Longhorns, I'm so glad it's out of here. We didn't need it in the hat house anyways. Texas Shorthorns went out for $25, really nice embroidered, big logo right here. This one was basically like new, still had the sticker on it and everything. I don't think it had ever been worn. But 25 bucks on this, great hat. And another case to hat that it pays to have like items in your store. $50 for these two KVU hats right here. Had the mesh on the side. These are doing really well. These will continue to do awesome through the summer. KVU hats, $50 combined. They got some nice hats at a good price. And I just love selling the little toddler hats. This one is so cute. A toddler, $39.30. Only went out for $12, but it was a really cool Atlanta Braves hat right here. $12 on this. I'll take it. And my flat caps are still selling. $25 on this vintage. The vintage ones do better. $25, large, extra large, leather flat cap. Probably from the 90s. This Scala Classics is pretty much a 90s brand right here. And I'm even losing out on them through Whatnot now too. So I got another source, guys. But I hope you sell yours for a lot too. And the golf hats are still running strong. I had 80 on this, took 50. Maybe you could probably flip it for a little bit more. Maybe get 80 or 90 for it. If you wait a little bit longer, I probably wouldn't have taken 50 if it was on Texas, but this was on this Regency tag. Still a super cool golf rope hat right here. Sold some cool ones on our Whatnot too, and I think I'm gonna have some good ones for our next Whatnot shot too. So they're selling awesome. And next up, selling hats and fashion and clothing is just all about having the eye sometimes, right? How do you know this is a $35 hat? There probably wasn't a comp out there for it. I got 35 for mine. I had it priced around 50, but a really awesome, like Southwestern with cactuses and the desert and the sun, rope hat. All that makes this a really cool hat. I took $35 offer on it, and a great sale right here for this hat. And another one, Nike True, had the Oregon Duck on it. This one was one size fits all, but it had the really cool duck on it. Pretty great condition right here. Nike True, $28 on this hat. Really good sale, really nice Nike hat. And my message keeps paying off. Would you like to combine shipments? Please check my store. I have thousands of hats. $34 for these three hats. A lot of them have been marked down. Had them for quite a while. Over 90 days on this one. Well over 90 days on this Portland Beavers and another Portland Trailblazers. So really glad to get over $30. Everybody loves the combined shipments. It works out good for the buyer and the seller. And next up, LA Kings, brand new Fanatics. LA Kings usually does really great. This one went out for $21, brand new Fanatics. And next up, sometimes you just don't get what you thought you would get. I thought I would get close to at least $50 to $70 for this because it was really cool. Wimpy's Burgers. This guy was Popeye?
It was on Papaya.
What did he do?
He ate burgers.
He ate burgers on Popeye? What did Wimpy do on Popeye? I don't know much more than that. I just knew I had the only one. And so I thought I might get a really good price. Finally went for $34, $35 on this one. Still a really cool vintage kind of Popeye Wimpy hat. He ate burgers. That's all he did.
I have no idea.
And if you've watched me for long, you've known that the money on the Patagonias is when they're different. This one had kind of the van life type of Patagonia, had the kind of beach surfboard van, snapback Patagonia. Not in the best condition. A little bit of fading here, but still $27 on this hat. And I always love the different Patagonia. And then it is time of year for these hats right here. Really cool kind of bucket, boonie, jungle hat. This one was made by Duluth. $20 on this hat. Really great condition. Really well made. Duluth makes some good stuff. The selling price on Duluth stuff is not always that great, even though they make pretty quality stuff. It started off hot, but has pretty much fizzled out. So glad to get 20 for this one. All right, next up, I'm going to have a funeral for the 3-stripe hat market. I'm going to declare it officially dead. Now, this one isn't the coolest one. I'll give it that. $17 on this. Basically, like dead stock. Had this one. Somebody asked me to start saying how long I've had stuff. I will, as much as I can remember, 6 or 8 months. It's been a long time I've had this hat. Finally got $17 on it. Somebody finally wanted Larry's Bobcats awesome 3-stripe trucker hat right here. They got a really clean, cool hat, but $17. The 3-stripe market is down to earth. I don't know if it will come back. Things are cyclical. It might come back and be better, but right now, unless you have like a really cool cat hat or racing hat or something that is just really cool, the 3-stripe market is not doing too hot. Next up, one of my secret weapons, $59 on this vintage New Era hat right here. It had this Japanese writing, really does well. I'm pretty sure this says ticket in Japanese. Snapback vintage New Era Yankees hat. Really nice hat. I had this one priced over $100 for a long time. Sometimes the overseas buyers, you just never know, will pay up big for stuff like this. It wasn't in that good a condition. You can kind of see the wrinkling that it had, but still a really cool hat right here. Don't know exactly why it says ticket or the kanji. I put kanji in the title and ticket. But $59 on this hat. Had it priced up forever. Glad it finally sold for $60. All right, first up, vintage minor league. Really awesome hat right here. $40 on this New Era snapback vintage hickory crawdads. Just had to search crawdads, crawfish. Finally came up with the hickory crawdads. That looks kind of like a lobster though, too. Oh man, I hope they love this hat. It's $40. I'm going to go with crawfish. It's still an awesome hat either way. Look at that embroidery holding the baseball bat. And then a nice fitted Atlanta Braves went out for $22. It was still pretty crispy. And it was size 7 3/8. Pretty good size right here. $22 on the nice colorway, kind of gray and blue Atlanta Braves hat. All right, next up was a nice tennis hat. But the prices have come down a little bit on this, and different models can get different prices. But if you ever see this logo on shirts or Nike shirts or anything, Rafael Nadal, kind of looks like a bull to me. These usually do pretty well. This one only went for $20. It wasn't on the best Nike hat. Some of them can get a little bit more. And it seems like the prices on his stuff has come down a little bit. But still, it's a great logo to be on the lookout for. Next up, it's just one of those, you look it up and you know, well, those go for $25. Some Dr. Slump something with the wings on it, strap back. Really cool. Maybe anime or something like that. But anyways, whenever you come across something cool, make sure you look it up. And that's all I did on this one. And I knew it was a $20+ hat. Next up, really great golf brand to be on the lookout for. Bad Birdie. $25 on this hat right here. It was almost in perfect condition. Super clean. The pricing on these can kind of be all over, just really depending on the condition. Mine was like new. Had the Bad Birdie on the back as well. $25, Bad Birdie. And of course, I sold a polo hat for $22. This one was a little bit different. It was kind of on the newer tag, but it was also this strap back and kind of the jersey mesh material. $22 on this hat. Was a really nice black and white, kind of a normal colorway. If it had been a better colorway. All right, first up going out on eBay is a flip from Whatnot. I think I got it for like $10 on Whatnot, but this one just kind of, you know your customer. I know there's this guy that watches my store on eBay. He always buys Rose Bowl stuff, especially Oregon. So I picked up this Rose Bowl Oregon hat for 10 on Whatnot. Flipped it on eBay in about 24 hours just because I knew that it would sell. It was really nice. Still had the tags. And maybe I could wait for 40 or 45 on this. But he always buys them. So I just cut him a deal and gave him a good deal on another Rose Bowl hat. Next up, one of my favorite polo hats. This one had the leather strap back. Sold almost immediately for like $25. Nice little polo hat. Super quick sell. If I could have a whole store of these, I would do it. Next up, really cool find. Happened to be at the bins, and it was just different. Under Armour Texas Tech basketball. Don't see that very often, but it was a Final Four hat. So I picked it up. It sold almost immediately as well. So nice little bins flip. Next up, kind of a bolo. This Saint Martin. Definitely, it's like a boat race. Almost all the stuff that was on eBay was selling for over $20. This visor was ahead. It went for like $17. I sold it pretty quick, but if you find any Saint Martin hats or any of these boat hats, they do really well. Next up was this Rockport hat. I got lots of $10 offers on it, but it was this wax cotton, and I held it up for 20 because it was vintage and just a really cool kind of wax cotton leather bill hat. I just kind of know when to hold on to these and wait for the extra $10, and this one was a cool one. Next up, next nice little James Bond movie. It had Tomorrow Never Dies on it on the back. Really cool hit on the back. It was just on the Headmaster. Went out for $22. Nice little movie hat right here. Next up, first sale from our flip from the weekend from buying out the guy's eBay store. This was a New Era 7 1/8. Nice side patch on it. $30 on this one, and I priced most of them to move pretty quick. You can price some of these nice side patch hats up to $40, $50. I wanted to, it has a $55 price tag on it, but I priced them to move pretty quick in the 30 to 40 range on most of them, so hopefully they'll keep moving. And another one from the eBay store buyout. These can't sell fast enough, I'm telling you right now. I'm a little disappointed in some of the hats we got, but some of them started selling quick. This one happened to be Southern Hills Golf Course near us. Went for $19 on it. It was new with tags, so flipped pretty quick. Next up, my rule for our Arc'teryx hats: never take less than 30. I mean, sometimes you can wait. If you want to wait for $40 or $50, you can. But never take less than 30 on a nice Arc'teryx hat, especially this wool one. This one went for 30. That's usually the offer that I'll take. I won't take 20 or 25. I'll wait on it. Or next up, another baseball hat. Oakland A's is kind of heating up a little bit. They keep talking about maybe moving the A's to Las Vegas, so there's still a lot of buzz around the A's. 7 3/8, just a regular fitted, went for $19. Next up, nice melon hat right here. Camouflage, went for $40. Just a regular, this is A game. Always looking for this right here. $40 on this one. The camo was pretty cool. That's why I left this one. I wasn't going to take less than 40 for the camo. The regular ones are around 30. But really like this one. It was a good hat. Next up, I won't talk about Volcom much, but I've talked about this color, right? Brown and black, really beautiful colorway on this Volcom hat, and it was in awesome condition. So it went for $17. I think it was the colorway that sold this one, and it was just awesome condition. $17, you can't expect that all the time on a Volcom hat, but you gotta know when they're cool. And I tried to tell y'all on Whatnot the other night about the Imperial hats. They're still doing really well, the lightweight Imperial golf hats. And just being able to find the course matters. This happened to be Oklahoma City Country Club. So since I knew that, and it was a good Imperial lightweight hat, I got $19 for this one. Of course, the club and the course matters. The more popular, the better. And then the harder to find, the better. If you can't find that course on eBay, it might be one that you're asking $20-ish to $25 for. If there's a bunch of yours out there, you might have to go for the $10. And golf hats still doing pretty well. This is a beautiful Titleist, so had a rope on it, American flag on the side, always does better. $20 on this one. Beautiful Titleist snapback with a nice patch and rope. And another polo, $18 on this one. Had the regular strap back on it, so I usually ask about $5 less for these. But just a basic polo hat, $18. Another A's fitted. Kind of see how it's going with the baseball hats. A's fitted, $23. This one is a beautiful black, 7 5/8, awesome size right here. Nice A's fitted. Shape that up a little bit. Just do the little details before you send it out. If you can shape it up a little bit. And so the first thing they see when they pull it out of the box isn't like a horribly shapen bill. Always good to do. So you don't get an automatic return just because it was misshapen a little bit. Everybody knows that you're going to have to shape up your hat a little bit when you get it. But always make sure it's shaped pretty good. And it sold. The bolo from last week sold this week. I told you most of them were priced around 100 to 120 for the new ones. I got an offer for 75 for my used one. And I took it. Beautiful little hat right here. Keep your eye out. Godspeed forever. Nice little made hat. Has the patches all over it. Good bolo. And nice little kind of new replica, kind of the diamond cut. They usually go between 20 or 30 if you find splashes or shark tooth in the Mitchell & Ness. Still, the design is really cool. This one happened to be like a gold and black diamond cut. Just on the new Mitchell & Ness, though. Pretty cool hat. $23. Next up, I noticed it on Whatnot too because the Mack truck hat I ran on Whatnot the other day ran up pretty good. But this one went on eBay for $28 for Mack truck. I guess it's doing really hot right now. Youngin, nice little vintage Mack truck hat. Next up, Stormy Cromer Ladies Edition. $20 on this one. Had the nice little flower on the side. Usually the men's can get 30. Good patterns get 40. Women's, usually I take 20. Sometimes I do get low ball offers on these all the time. Such a quality hat though. I'm not taking less than 20, like $10 offers on Stormy Cromer Ladies all the time. But it's a really good hat. They can pay 20. Next up, $20 on this one. Vintage Gore-Tex. It wasn't in the greatest of shape. Had some fading right here. But still, nice little vintage Gore-Tex hat. $20 on that one. Always looking for this little tag right here. If you don't know the Gore-Tex tag, kind of hard to see. There's the Gore-Tex tag, and it had the Gore-Tex on the inside as well. All right, guys, it's time.